Alrighty, y'all, this is going to be a quick overview of the Bridger number 1 3/4 square jaw offset. So this trap, the first thing, when I first bought these, the first thing that stood out to me is how well built they are. Now, I haven't used Sleepy Creeks or Minnesota brand traps, but I have used, pretty much the only new traps I've bought have been Dukes, because pretty much every single place around my store, around my area, carries Dukes and maybe like 1 or 2 Oneida Victors. Pretty much just Dukes is what they carry. And yeah, I bought these because they were cheap and available. But these are pretty much as stock and cheaply built as you can get. These ones are pretty nice. They have a base plate, center swiveled with a D-ring. They have a swivel right there. They have machine link chain and a swivel at the end. Now if we look at the Duke, I also have a Duke number 2, which is pretty much built the same way. They're side swiveled, which the problem with that is people say it might slide around, damage the paw, and be more likely to escape because it might be able to depress this lever, relieve tension, and get out. Whereas you can see this one is center swiveled. The Dukes, the 1.5 and the number 2 that I have, use this double loop chain, which I imagine will hold, a Coyote just fine. But it's not quite as durable as the machine link chain that you see here. Also, I believe this frame is thicker than the Duke. Yeah, I believe it's slightly thicker. It's got a nice base plate riveted on, D-ring, a swivel here, and a swivel here. So that way the chain is less likely to bunch up. And I'll compare the swivels real quick. Notice this trap did not come with any of this on here. I added that on, but you can see the difference in the swivels. The Dukes have the very cheap, crappy, small swivels that I've bent a few of these already and bought new swivels and put them on. But you can see this swivel is more durable. Got the better chain, better swivels. Really a nice trap. Also, you can see the jaws are a good amount thicker. Also, I believe the levers look to be about the same size. Frame's thicker, jaws are thicker. And then I also love the way the pan is attached here. Hope you guys can see that. Just got a lock washer on there because I've lost one of the pan bolts for these Dukes because it got loose on me. But yeah, this will never back off. And you can see it's just a very sturdy pan. Pan set up here anyway. If we look at the Duke, you can see it's just a single post there, pinched. And oftentimes these things bend pretty easy. Oftentimes they're crooked from the factory because that attachment point is just kind of crappy. It's not nearly as good as the Bridger, in my opinion. This, in my opinion, makes a more like durable pan, and it's generally more flat, not crooked from the factory, and it's not going to back off. So I really like that. These are also offset, and on the Minnesota brand website, these are advertised as being able to be used for fox, coyote, bobcat, and coons. Although I've heard that raccoons, you don't really want to use offset jaws because I've heard if there's any bit of wiggle room, they'll be able to kind of wiggle out. But now we'll measure the jaw spread here. In case I didn't mention that these are square jaws, that's what they're called because they're pretty square. And for a jaw spread, we have, let's say, about 5 inches. This tape measure, this end is a little bit loose, so probably 4 15/16 or 5 inches from end of jaw to end of jaw. At the hinges, it's about 4 5/8. May as well also get some pan dimensions while we're at it, I guess. Pan is 1 7/8 wide this way, side to side, and then it's, we'll say, 2 1/8, 2 1/16 inch this way. Obviously the end of this tape measure is pretty loose, so it might vary slightly, but that's the general idea. Then another thing I like about them is they kind of have a night latch built in. So if you guys listen to this, it's nice and slow here. Yes, there you go. you hear that little click? What that means is the pan is down as far as it can go, and at pretty much any bump to the pan downward would set it off. And I know some people will even file the ends of the dogs here to make it even more of a hair trigger, but I think it's pretty good as is. Not sure if you guys can see that, but there's a little bump on the dog there, and that's essentially the night latch. Once it goes over that dog, it makes that click, and that means you have a hair trigger. So that's why I really like these traps. They're pretty well built in every way, at least compared to the Dukes. Again, I haven't compared them to like a $15 Minnesota brand or anything like that, but pretty impressed with them so far. So thank you guys for watching the video. If you found it educational or entertaining, feel free to subscribe, as it could help my channel along. God bless, and see you on the next one.